Hi everyone, and welcome to your third session on how to use Scratch. In today's session we're going to be creating a maths quiz. Now we'll only be creating one question for now, but next time we'll be adding more. On a piece of paper, I want you to think of a difficult maths question that you want to add to your quiz. It can use addition, subtraction, multiplication or division, but write it down and don't forget to also write down the answer. We're going to use this shortly. Going into Scratch, we have a blank project with no code blocks in the main coding area. On the Scratchy sprite in the bottom right hand corner, click the bin icon to delete Scratchy from our program. Today, you're going to select your own background and a character to use when creating our maths quiz. Hover your mouse over the backdrop icon in the bottom right hand corner and a menu will appear. Click on a magnifying glass to search for a backdrop that you like. I'm going to choose this concert background by left clicking on it. I suggest you pause the video for a moment while you make your choice and play the video again when you found one you like. So now that we have our backdrop, we need to choose a character that's going to ask our maths questions. Hover your mouse over the sprite icon in the bottom right hand corner, and when the menu appears, click on the magnifying glass. I'm going to choose this character called Avery, but you can select whatever character you like. When you find one you'd like to use, click on it to add it to your program. Again, this might be a good time to pause the video whilst you look for a character to use. You should now be able to see your backdrop and the character in the output window. You may find that your character is not well placed on the backdrop, so click and hold your mouse button on the character to reposition them within the window. It's now time to start using code blocks to create our program. Making sure your character is selected in the sprite window and highlighted in blue. If not, just click on it. We're going to select the event category and drag a when green flag clicked block out to the main coding area. The next thing we need to do is to get the character to ask the maths question that we've written down on a piece of paper. Go to the sensing category and choose ask what is your name and weight block. Drag and snap this to the bottom of our code. Click the input field and delete the current question and enter your own. This was a difficult maths question I got you to think about at the start. My question, which isn't really that difficult for this example, is what is 2 multiplied by 2? I then follow my question with please enter your answer below to let the user know what I want them to do. If we click the green flag, we can see that our character asks our question and then waits for the user to input their answer in the box at the bottom of the screen. So if we type in the correct answer in the box and press enter, nothing appears to happen. But we need to add more code blocks to tell the program what to do with the answer that the user provides. When the user presses enter, their answer is stored in a block called answer. Now we can use this block to check what the user's entered and decide what to do based on whether they were correct or not. If we select the sensing category again, if it isn't already open, you'll see a block called answer. We'll drag this block to the main coding area, but for now we won't snap it to anything. We'll just leave it to the side and we'll come back to it soon. How are we going to check if what the user entered is correct? In the control category there is an if-else block. Now this block is a bit special because we can choose what to do based on what the user entered. So let's take a bit more of an in-depth look at this block and see how we can use it. In the top section of this block we'll put what we want to check. For an easy to understand example, I'm going to put the words I am hungry in here. So what do we do as humans when we're hungry? Well, we eat. So if I'm hungry, eat. And we place that in the top section of this block. Else, or otherwise, as I like to think of it, when I'm not hungry, don't eat. So here we can see that only one of the two sections are going to be run because we can't be hungry and not hungry at the same time. After it has run the code in one of these sections, Scratch continues to run the code after the if-else block. In our example, however, we're going to want to check if the answer that the user has entered is the same as the correct answer for our question. Let's build this block before putting it into our code and we'll take another look at it when it's completed. For now, just follow along. If we go back to our code, you can see I've already dragged the if-else block to our main stage. Go to the operators section and you'll see a block that takes 2 inputs with an equal sign in the middle. As you can see, this block is the same shape as the hole in our if block, and that's where we're going to put it. Click and drag it to the hole in our if block, and when you see a white highlight around the hole like this, release the mouse button and the code should snap inside. In the left input of the equals, we're going to put the answer block which we place to the side. In the other input, we're going to put the answer to our question. So in my case, 2 multiplied by 2, that's 4. So 4 goes in here. You need to make sure you put the correct answer for your question in this box, as your question won't be the same as mine. Click the category called Looks, and you'll notice that there are 2 say blocks at the top of the list, and we're going to be using the first one. Click and drag this to the if block and place it in the first available gap, like so. We're going to place another say block in the second gap as well, so drag another one out to the main stage and place it within the code. In the first say block, delete the word hello and type "You got the answer correct, well done." Then delete the number 2 and change that to a number 4. In the second say block, delete the word hello again and type "Sorry, that's not correct." We also need to make this block last for 4 seconds as well. With our if block now completed, let's talk about what this block is actually doing. So as I said earlier, whatever the user enters as an input is stored in the answer block. If the answer that they've entered is equal to the correct answer for the question, 4 in my case, but yours will be different, then run this bit of code. This block gets our character to say, "You got the answer correct, well done," for 4 seconds. Else or otherwise, run this section of code and say, "Sorry, that's not correct." Only one of these say blocks will run depending on whether the user's answer is correct or not. We now need to click and drag the if block that we've been working on and snap it to the bottom of the ask block in our code. So click the green flag and enter the correct answer, and you should see "You got the answer correct" message. Let's click the green flag again, and this time we're going to put in a wrong answer. And this time you should see the character tell you got the answer wrong. If your program isn't working as expected, copy my code to start with and change the question block at the top for your own question. But also don't forget to put the correct answer in the equals block. That's it for this session. You now have a 1-question quiz that we're going to improve upon next time. Remember to save your work, as you will need it for the next session. Next time we'll look at adding more questions, and we'll even add a point system so when a user answers a question correctly, they get a point.